real indigenous people to the land, and they're not people who are suffering. They are online propagandist trolls who are wasting your time and their time. And they're probably fat and diabetic. And they need to go to the gym and read a book just like you and me. And they're literally, this is the topic they choose. They're low IQ. They're stupid people. That's what they are.
Actually, I don't go to the gym, but thanks for reminding me. I do need to go. But don't assume this on me.
I think Amir and some of these people might be state actors. They're getting paid by the IRGC or something.
He doesn't have to
so irrational that it just, I don't know how to justify it.
What? At least they have a job, because I thought that they were all like jobless. So,
I mean, I think that you would have to have. I think that if you look at people who are actually propped up by, like, the most egregious example would be, Jackson Hinkle. He's obviously, used by the Russians, and of course, he all of their allies like Venezuela, Yemen, so forth. I mean, but he has like 1 million plus people. Like, he has a huge reach. Whereas someone like him, who's going to pay for him? He doesn't even really. He's not a trendsetter or somebody who can really move the needle through argumentation.
It's not worth the money. No, I think they're actually just jobless people with with a cause. The cause is what fills their life with meaning. This is why they are so obsessed. I mean, dude, 24/7 every day about something that happened in Israel. It's not about Palestinians. It's about, look at what this Israeli did. Look at what happened in Israel. Look at what. It's always about something hateful against Israel. It's a jihad, basically.
Do you still go on X?
I listen only on X. I don't go on stage.
Oh, I mean, there's one room that's Western, and it's called JQ 24/7. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's always got over 100 people in it. It's JQ Radio 24/7, and which means Jewish question. But it's mostly Westerners, but they'll have
Nazis?
rooms. Yeah, they're Nazis.
Okay.
It's weird. There's some people. I would say at least all of them have a proclivity towards being a national socialism in general, but they do have they have Arabs on there that they'll sometimes let blacks come up, and as long as that's they don't push back on the racial shit, but
if they behave.
Yeah, and they talk about the Jews. I don't go into those rooms, but I mean, there's people that
I don't need
I've talked to. They do to get so. I mean, I was talking to Nazis and having these debates and shit years ago, and it's just all of these new people doing it now. It's the same shit over and over and over. It's boring.
Yeah, but some people don't like to pick up books or even watch Star Wars anymore. This is the only thing they have because they're pathetic losers, and they're drawn to it because they're bored, low IQ, stupid, and don't know how to spend their time being creative, having fun, being funny, doing poetry, playing music, making love, eating food, doing a cooking channel, going doing a car channel, doing a vacation travel channel, any kind of content other than what they're choosing, which is really their own roast. They are wasting their lives self-roasting at a barbecue of hate, which eventually you run out of barbecue, you run out of root beer, you run out of the coleslaw, and all you got left is hot, dirty coals and a bunch of dirty kitchen, dishes you got to clean up. And what do you got at the end of the day? You got these losers who come to these little cesspools of filth to roll around like pigs. That's what they are. They're just, pigs.
I can see the alert. I mean, I'm one of those people that, before the pandemic, it was weird. I never did anything on social media except for, I had a Facebook, and I'd occasionally post pictures or some stupid shit on there years ago. But then, I was, stuck at home. I was bored. Then I'm, I thought it was funny to, engage with people, in Facebook comments of news stories. And then I went to Reddit, and then going online and then on video, and then it went on, I eventually made it here a few years ago. But then it's just like all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, you can like make these rooms, and then like, it's kind of a thrill. And I do you get people online that are they've never had an audience. And now all of a sudden they have, through these people that believe in this, in some stuff that, is kind of silly, they have a huge following, and there's like a sense of community, and these are people that are pretty much nobodies. Nobody would bother to listen to them, and now all of a sudden they have a pretty big megaphone. And so I mean, I can see how it happens. I mean, I'm somebody who's did racist shit all the time and got huge audience.
Yeah, but your racist shit was see, everything is a projection, so people would come on there and demonstrate their own racism. And you're talking about a lot of African Americans would humiliate themselves and humiliate others. So what you were doing is not entirely out of line in terms of like creating a milieu of crazy comedy. A lot of it's comedy, and like but see, you're falling into the trap of saying, oh, it was racist. No, it wasn't all. It's comedy. What you created really was comedy. So that's why I say, I mean, you had a black partner doing the comedy routine, which was Mon. So I wouldn't be hard on yourself, but the whole point is, if all you do is engage in hate all the time and you're constantly saying, don't Jews, don't Jews, don't Jews, you're retarded. You're a very low IQ, stupid person who's incapable of actually doing anything intelligent. It's really stupid behavior because it's a language. Jewish people, it's a culture, it's an ancient history. The point is, if you hate that, then you got to hate everything. You don't like Indian food, you don't like burritos, you don't like pizza, you don't like hot dogs. Like, you're just a crazy person on the internet just spreading hate. You don't read any poetry. You don't read any books. You don't read any history. You're just a stupid person engaging in hate hypnosis on the internet. You are a loser.
I think they're virtue signaling too. If you're putting out there that you're on the side of the people that are oppressed, and look how virtuous I am. They're trying to get.
Oh, you support killing babies? You support killing babies?
It's a real phenomenon. I think that the sociologist in Britain, what he refers to it as tribal signaling, and so, and this is something I've totally, I would say it's been the problem, like with the dissident right, or any, like, I guess you say more radical leaning ideology, is that, like, for example, let's say you were to, like, because of 2020 and BLM, all of a sudden, maybe you're like, this is bullshit. We shouldn't have to put up with this and be blamed for everything. And then people start showing their allegiance or solidarity with other whites, or, for example, I'm just using them as an example, by saying, then they start saying hateful shit, and they try to outcompete each other by showing who has more loyalty to the ideology. And so it ends up like escalating the extreme rhetoric. And if you look at, and they do this to each other, like if you were to look at any of the people like Nick Fuentes, who are some of the other, like Myron Gaines, any of these people, they're going to now you basically have to like pass the test in order to be considered based or someone worth listening to, and that's like, are you willing to name a Jew? If you're not willing to do that, you're just a cuck and you're not a real conservative, yada yada yada. And so like it kind of it's like they definitely gatekeep like with a lot of this ideology. It's just cringe. It's gotten like really, I don't know, it's low IQ and stupid. If you look at most of the people that were part of the alt-right in the 2010s, like they laugh at what's going on. They think these guys are all fucking retards. They largely are.
Well, yeah, it just becomes a very boring program after a while. I mean, on X really has like the superstars of Jewish hate and Jewish conspiracy theorists, going from the Kennedy assassination to the Federal Reserve to COVID-19 to the World Trade Centers to the dancing Jews and Mossad. It just never ends. Um, but as an American, you should be aware of international espionage. And, if you're an agnostic or you know, what I'm saying is, is that if you're an American, there are dastardly people about. I mean, anybody outside of America, it could, theoretically, have been responsible for a lot of these things. But really, the biggest enemies are within, and that's Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. 100 other Democrats that we could name that you could say have been much more destructive to the culture and the financial well-being of this country. There's $100 billion a month on a $40 trillion mortgage. Every state is indebted to the tune, of hundreds of billions, which totals up to additional tens of trillions. So the point is, if you're a patriotic American, there's no time for any of this stupid conspiracy theories where every second sentence ends with "the Jews." I mean, take some fucking personal responsibility if you're an American, and try to become more intelligent and productive and organize to essentially lighten the taxation burden. Because if you were just to do basic statistics, if you're a homeowner and you're just an average guy earning 55,000 a year and your wife is staying at home and you guys are just getting by, your future doesn't look good because the debt is that high. I mean, you're going to have to work to pay other people's pensions. So the whole system is sick, and in my opinion, it's ready to implode. We should let it implode. We should get rid of the minimum basic income or minimum wage. We should eliminate all military spending, eliminate all Medicare, Medicaid, and just let the whole system collapse and let good service providers with good quality feedback rise up to the tops of where people want to go for healthcare, et cetera. Like, the whole system is completely broke and bankrupt. And we can lie to ourselves and keep patching it and plugging holes on the sinking ship. But the immorality and the lack of character with regards to politics, the size of the political industrial complex, the lawyers, I mean, everybody who has made a ton of money in the past 25 years has gotten rich off of a very corrupt system. So it's just too big, and maybe it's too big to fail. But the point is, if every second sentence is "don't use," I mean, you are a stupid person who is worthy of being roasted every single second you're on this app or other spaces. I don't know if you know that Maze Love over on X
Well, she's a
Spaces.
dumb bitch.
Oh yeah,
No, I don't get along with it.
that's my point, is stupid people and how they're going to waste your time and create this content and do this show when it's really just a gaslight show and no real high value information is ever passed or transferred. So it's like a hypnosis by stupid people, and it's a small community. It's not that big. The vast majority of the population does not use X Spaces, does not use Clown House. There's no new party hats. So this is like the gutter of people who are still here from the COVID-19 March 2020, when everybody was locked in at home. And most people have given up on all this stuff and they go back to mainstream media, or they just don't consume any of this shit anymore, and they're cleaning their car and cutting their grass.
Well, I'd say it's interesting you say that. Like, I do think we're getting dumber, and I do. If you even look at the quality of I mean, I voted for Trump, but don't get me wrong. He is just like it's a very dumbed down populism, and it's starting. I kind of see us becoming more of a. How do I put this? First of all of the intelligent people, for the most part, in the United States, the educated people, they don't have kids. At least it's a sustainable birth rate. We're letting in. Well, the majority of people that are in the United States that are under 18 are now like non-white, mostly children of immigrants from the third world. I don't like, honestly, demographically, and of course the dumb white people that do have kids are there's still a problem. I honestly think we're gonna just like politics and everything is going to get dumber and dumber and dumber. It's going to be more akin to the global South. And I don't think there's much that can be done about it.
Yeah, it's been like 100-year decline from 1920 to 2020. Like society has imploded, culture has imploded, music, education. I mean, your average high school graduate in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s is your average graduate degree graduate today. So you're talking about a huge decline in IQ, and it's, in my opinion, it's really because of cell phones and how people are just like rats in a cage who will go to that cocaine button and keep pushing it. And your cell phone has become that cocaine button. And it's only about getting the dopamine and the short-term feedback to the fact that you are a lazy piece of shit who hasn't taken the time to actually read a large number of books to essentially develop your own personal large language model and understanding of society, culture, earth, the universe. So that's the problem. You're dealing with low-level propagandists on this app who haven't superseded racial identity politics and tribalism.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that there's a lot of it is it's going to be so genetic because of the people that are having the children that I don't think there's anything. I don't think these are people that are capable of being like our ancestors from the 1920s. If I'm being honest, they talk about failing schools. These aren't the same children. These aren't people of the same quality, or I should say capability, in the 1920s. It's and we're not the only country that has this problem. I mean, East Asia is imploding demographically. They're not bringing in really the immigrants like we are, but that is still going to be a kind of a disaster for them, or cause a lot of hardship.
If you're an American and you own a house and you can afford your bills, and then you see like an image of people in Africa putting out a fire and there's like 10 people holding a hose just because they want to take a selfie with the hose, meaning that like most people in this world don't own shit. They don't have a high standard of living, and their lives are generally horrible. And they're just a couple hours away from, losing it all. I mean, there's 40 million Americans are living on food stamps. So we have a huge homeless population who's just a day away and already basically financially totally never coming out of debt and never accumulating anything. So the joke is essentially that, I mean, you like to use the term white people a lot, and black people like to use the term black people a lot, meaning that very few people are just saying the term American or Americans or even patriots or Republicans or libertarians. I mean, the Democrats are a party of abortionists, high taxes, military-industrial complex, obfuscation, lies. I mean, do you think Maxine Waters has ever gone on an interview and actually told the truth about the way she views society? Or the banking industry. She sits.
I think you maybe are misinterpret. There is a reason why the racial shit had always stuck with me, and it's a lot of people don't realize it has nothing to do with hate. That's why you don't really see me like being mean to them. I can tolerate people. It's not that. It's not even a tribalism. I'm not really a tribal person. However, the demographic realities are what keep me up at night. It's basically 100% out of fear.
Demographic, it's communication. It's communication demographics, which you're failing to understand is you're so superficial. You're actually thinking about melatonin density and cultural identity. The truth is stop asking questions and just know that most of these people aren't even operating on English anymore. So we have a huge communication problem. And when we have a failure to communicate, you know what happens? Fucking chaos, violence, anger. I was at the pharmacy today getting a prescription, and this giant fat white woman is screaming at the Asian pharmacist who doesn't speak the best English, but she's a fucking pharmacist. And this fat giant pig who's about to die and screaming that she can't afford 30 pills. She can only afford 5 of the pills, and she got to find out if the medication works first. I'm like, bitch, your problem is not that you're sick and need medication. You're fucking huge. Go to the gym. Educate your brain, and you won't be screaming at pharmacists who happen to be Asian and maybe don't speak the best English. Your life is already fucked. You weigh 300 pounds.
Okay, I get it, but first of all, this is all ridiculous. Now, it's not the melanin. Okay, that's not the thing. We can just look at it this way. When your people or your Jewish side of the family came here, why did they come from nearly third world?
They were fleeing terrorism. They were getting murdered. They burned in churches.
I know. Hold on. They came from nearly third world like conditions under, from Tsarist Russia and those kinds of places. A lot of them are literal peasants. And they came here, but why did that population seem to do okay? Why is it that there's certain groups of people that kind of wherever they go, they tend to do okay? They have a status quo for their group. You get other groups, they have a status quo as well. And it's generally not as... They don't perform as well as other groups, unfortunately. But yet we have this magical idea that these people can come to the West, they can replace the ethnic that previously existed, and somehow they'll rise to the occasion.
But all groups have one thing in common, which is indexes. So there's always a bell-shaped curve within every group. Now, you may be comparing apples to oranges and saying, this index sucks compares to this index. You might be right. But the point is there's still an index within the group, meaning that 10% of every index is premium, high quality, unmistakable greatness, Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, other billionaire African Americans.
They're fucking entertainers, though. They're not. It's not how you don't want to compare groups by their outliers that are especially in entertainment. You would want to look at, for example, why is it so much more common for Jews to be in a professional class? I don't mean
it's because they're advanced communication experts.
I've had surgery twice. Both times it was a Jew. Obviously, it's IQ. I mean, they're obviously...
I know, but that means they have
population in general.
I know, but you got to understand, Jews have Torah. Torah is the law, and it's a large language model system. It's a huge amount of information. African Americans got Snoop Dogg, and they got Ice Cube, and they got fucking Tupac, okay? So that's the difference. One people operate off of 100 books, and one people operate off of fucking CDs, listening to it on their fucking Sony Walkman.
Smarter.
Well, that's my theory about intelligence is, you know what? It actually is a result of people spending countless years studying what's called books.
I disagree. I mean, the adoption surveys in
2,500 years ago.
All of this
now, 2,500 BC. The Jews have been, having higher level thinking for a long time, a lot longer than everybody else.
They've also, Christians operated very differently. So if you were the brightest, smartest, Christian for a large period of time, and especially Europe, you would be encouraged to, join the church, which means you're not going to get married or have kids. Wasn't the case for Jews. They also didn't encourage literacy like the Jews did. So they wanted you to basically rely on the church for all of your information. So gauging whether or not finding a mate that was literate was not really a priority. But then also, Jews had arranged marriages where the arranged marriages were very harsh on the men. Basically, had to be a man that could provide and generally had a high IQ. You could be successful and. So basically, it was more intelligent people breeding with other intelligent people. And so you kind of gets this is just a theory, but that's what a lot of people assume.
Yeah, Christianity came along, I forget how many years exactly, but a long time after Judaism. And then Islam even further. And you want to scale on IQ. I mean,
yeah, they
probably connect the dots there.
The funniest comment I always hear from them is like, "You Jews are inbred." And it's like, you guys are literally marrying your first cousins to this day.
They did studies, and ISIS was like the amount of inbreeding and the average IQ was insane, like just terrifying.
Oh yeah, like Yemen is dude, they are like legit, like their population is fucking retarded.
Yeah, but you know what? They're able to launch rockets all the way into David Ben Gurion Airport in in Israel.
Gave them those rockets.
Iran, and they're using Chinese targeting, but even the targeting is so complex with regards to a makeshift rocket that, like, good luck ever actually hitting strategic targets. And the consequences of launching rockets into Israel will mean that Israel will take F-35s and the United States will take high quality, rockets and aircraft and obliterate them. So they're the dumbest people on the fucking planet.
Ironically, somehow they've convinced some of the smartest people on the planet to be on their side.
And who is that? Who are the smartest people on the planet? Because if you ever supposedly listen to these smartest people on the planet, I don't think they're even close. I think they're generally just disenfranchised political dissidents who are depressed, low testosterone, low IQ, and want to complain and bitch about everything for their political power or their will to power. They're political.
Well, I guess not smartest, but successful, and you would say that they're somewhat smart people in America. Business owners, Bill Gates, these people.
Yeah, but Bill Gates doesn't talk about Islamic terrorism. He just wants you to get vaccinated. The guy is all business all the time. He's the biggest bullshit artist you've ever met. And Dr. Fauci had to get a special pardon from the president because he's basically guilty of war crimes. I mean, listen, America spends so much money. 35% of it is all borrowed. 40% of it, all of our GDP comes from borrowing from the Federal Reserve. So, we have a big problem here. I mean, Trump is demanding that Powell lower the rates, and Powell says, no, I'm not going to lower the rates, and there's nothing you can do about it. So Congress has the ability to tell the Federal Reserve supposedly what they want the Federal Reserve to do, but that means that the government is not in control of the currency or the dollar. I mean, it's like a partnership, but it's not really we the people. So we the people have been disenfranchised in the United States of America. We the people need liberty. We need freedom. And that means control or a sound currency that's not based on inflation and just printing trillions of dollars out of thin air by creating hero acts and spending $1.2 billion to fight pandemic, which was a scam. So what I'm saying is there are communication scams at the global or state level, which is really just hypnosis propaganda. And a microcosm is here on this app where you hear all this Free Palestine bullshit from these fucking terrorist supporting cocksuckers. So that's my opinion.
I agree with all of it. You covered like 5 different things right there.
It's micro, macro, macro, micro. I mean, Clown House is all projection all the time, all communication hypnosis. It's just low-level parasites. Then you get up into the higher echelons of the United States government and the financial industrial complex, and it's the same thing. It is essentially mind virus parasites or mafiaism or gangsterism or tribalism.
My 2 cents on all of this, if you want to hear it. The U.S. used to have more, like, I guess, faith-based stuff in schools. Whether it's Christian or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just like, some part of the Torah and like morality was schools, and that's something that doesn't exist anymore, you know? It's become less and less, and I feel like that's where the wisdom and the knowledge and like having some sort of groundedness in what morality is just kind of like threw everything off. And so now everyone's interpretation is what morality is based on. And it's just not concrete enough for people to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and know like, okay, this is right and this is wrong. No, it's kind of based on emotionalism. So they'll kind of follow whatever trend is, you know, being spewed on the internet in a very emotional fashion. And it feels like truth to them. It strikes a chord with them because it makes them feel something. And people are pretty numb these days. Like I think, like you said, with phones and so much entertainment all the time and not having like purpose and not having drive. So when you take God out of the picture, that's kind of what happens. People turn to drugs, entertainment, whatever, overeating, what have you, women, now like fighting with randos on the internet to kind of fill that void. So.
Well, it's all dopamine all the time, whether you're getting it from Netflix and YouTube or you're getting it from here. But talking creates a very high level of dopamine. So it's a very addictive platform. But you'll notice there's no new party hats. I don't even know how, if you just look at this as an equation, meaning on the left-hand side, you have software development and you have data bandwidth, and those expenses equals total amount of revenue minus, cost of goods sold, whatever, equals your profit. Like, how the fuck does this app transfer so much data, sell the data, and actually arbitrage the data that they're selling versus the bandwidth that they're buying? It's got to be from the government or like, elite, homosexuals in the advertising industry. I don't know. All right, my brothers and sisters, this has been another exciting itty bitty titty committee. This is your false clubhouse prophet, Adrian Dittman. Sipping some espresso. I wish I had some red wine. I miss the gym, but it's never too late to do some yoga. What else is there in countdown?
Cut your balls off. Don't ask any questions. They just cut the balls off. So just like that's what I was saying to humans. I'm like, you guys think you're superior, but then what if you're not the on the what if you aren't the top of the food chain? What if you're on the food chain also?
Yeah, but
I agree.
everybody's in the food chain. It just depends on where on the bell-shaped curve you fall.
Right.
Yeah, some of us are still animals. Some human beings that have human rights, they're still animals. They still have monkey brain.
Somebody on my YouTube live dared me to fart in my hand and eat it like a sandwich. No, I'm passing the mind virus on to you. Does anybody want to fart in their hand and eat a sandwich?
I mean, I do it. Like,
I mean, I am pretty broke this month. How much are they gonna pay me?
wait, do you drink your own urine and eat your own jizz?
What do you think this is, India, sir?
I eat my shit.
What does shit taste like?
It's like
It tastes like shit.
no. It has it's kind of grainy. It's kind of like eating a multi-grain bar.
You have eaten shit.
I've eaten my own shit. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because I wanted to taste it. I wanted to see what it was like.
God.
Wait, did you swallow it or did you just sample the flavor?
No, I ate it. I took a bite of it.
So you chewed on it like a nugget.
Yes. Yeah.
This is my sign from the universe to get off this app and do some.
Is it possible to deep fry a turd? Do you think it would taste better?
I mean, listen, a shit does look like a granola bar.
Yeah.
Fuels that we're using that get us from one place to another, but at what expense, right? Are the things that we are emitting into our atmosphere, like our social atmosphere, actually being processed and broken down, and being renewed, so that it's not harming the environment around us? No, and I think both of those things happen simultaneously because one is an effect of the other, right? Just long-term investments with short-term gains, and tradition that doesn't allow us to look at these things critically because we're being validated and being conformed by him, and there's all these other it's associated with status, power, and control. And so most people we have to have a paradigm shift when it comes to status, power, and control. And I think, to your point, if we lived in a world where we recognize that everyone has the ability to raise their voice, but we're not actually contending with the things that with what they're saying, right? Then we're just putting ignorance up into the air. From a communism standpoint, but we have to have some type of system in society where we capture the potential of those voices and what are they actually saying, and allow people to critically think about what they're saying so that it can be processed, right? And so that we have we are innovating and actualizing the potential of what is being there instead of people who are exploiting people's feelings and their fears and benefiting from their ignorance, exploiting their ignorance for their own political, right?
Okay, so
yeah.
how amazing then that you come from, let's say, from a leftist approach, right? But also like a leftist approach. manufacturing, right? So, but they're promising their people a hell of a lot on the basis. So this is, so it's like you've got communism, you've got, and also what is a little bit wrong here is like capitalism could actually be quite a beautiful thing if communism wasn't standing in the corner, feeling jealous and kind of like somehow meddling with things to kind of like for itself to sustain, to make capitalism like a worse version of itself, whereas actually capitalism is, but then again, you've got to take that into consideration also. So capitalism, so if you are the smart, and you are smart, so capitalism, what is the next? It's like, how do you find a way that you can cut out communism or that structure of level of finance, manufacturing, or whatever it is that you're depending on because you have to these amazing returns, while in the meantime, it kind of making a mockery. It's like a catch-22. And I kind of feel like communism is like, it's just hanging on to dear life for its survival, because somehow, organically or whatever, it is not the fittest survivor. Whereas capitalism, if it doesn't find a way to kind of like cut the cord that is making it like, whatever it thinks it needs, because actually capitalism, I think you just need to go back to the philosophy of capitalism, which is exactly the opposite of communism. But because communism is more like it sucks on something else. It's like it just is depending on something else to exist. And if capitalism could find a way to kind of like have enough self control to just be sufficient within itself and just not depend on that, but then you got people like Zuckerberg's and you got people like Bezos's, and it's like they're not, so you need your academics, you need trained people to be able to kind of set the parameters for these things. But as long as, because you don't see Europe like doing these things, right? It's like it's coming straight out of America. And somehow, does it benefit? Does it benefit? But
I mean,
it's just that things are interlinked.
yeah, things are interlinked, and I mean, you would have to pry out of the hands of some of the most powerful people, right? Achieve economic stability. All of that is already wrapped up and inextricably linked in the system itself. So, like, the problem with capitalism is that it prioritizes profit over people, right? So it just reduces human value down to productivity. And that's
by the way.
No, because capitalism commodifies emotions, right? And then it produces something that sells it back to you.
You raised in the West. You have different parameters, and you
but we can look at the results.
To educate yourself on history of what capitalism means, what communism means.
In all fairness, BB, I'll let you talk for a little bit now. I would like to talk for a little bit, please. Yeah. So you can look at some of the results to be able to see like what the problem is, right? When we're, for instance, right, people are being satiated with this idea that will bring manufacturing jobs back to the United States, and that is the sole problem, or the solution. Not understanding how long it takes for these industries to actually perk up and to become productive. They're not going to happen in 3 to 4 years. They may happen in 3 to 4 decades, and then the idea of like from a human potential standpoint, do we actualize the potential of our populace by having them do jobs that are very repetitive over time, right? If we're going to be operating at the highest level in academia and intellectualism, then we need to be delegating those jobs. But then at the same sense, making sure that these corporations are not just exploiting people for low wage labor, right? Wage slavery. But when we see this erosion of community, dignity, and well-being in favor of endless growth, right, and it being branded to us in a way of like actually being a solution when it's not actually being provided, it just shows like we don't really have a human-centered solution. And I'm not saying that that's like communism per se. I don't know what you would call it, but the solution is that we have to realign economic systems to prioritize collective well-being, to prioritize fairness, to prioritize sustainability, which you see some people trying to make efforts with, right? Like the foods that we eat, they talk about how these foods were created. You see this with like the renewable industry branding, where we're valuing people's intrinsic worth, where we're valuing the environment over their economic output, and then just fostering systems that balance profit with compassion and equity. Because through our intellectualism, right, we should understand human beings more, to not be fighting with them, right, but to be understanding that we should be asking the question of what happened to them, and then working to solve those problems that disproportionately increase the probability that people are going to turn out in some type of like way that is socially degenerate over time. So I'm not saying that the solution is communism, but I'm also saying that we have the ability to think of something that is different or something that is new.
We don't want to say the last name. Listen, Peoria City, where's everyone?
What's up, Galaxy? No, okay, so I have something to say to this.
You'll get a lot of content from this.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Okay, Satan, I can't find my tweezers. Can you help me find them with your fatal powers, please?
have you found what? Your tweezers? It's not my job. I don't work for you.
No, what fuck you saying?
What if I do a sacrifice for you? Do you accept sacrifices?
No. What is it that you desire?
I desire wisdom, Satan.
Wisdom. Wisdom is, you have it.
Try reading a book, Nefarious. Have you heard of this thing spelled B-O-O-K? Book?
Adrian is always telling somebody to read.
You've heard of B.O.?
It's not in a book. Adrian doesn't understand that these books are there. Anyway, yeah, do what Adrian says.
I mean, no, I would like.
Adrian is always telling somebody to read a book. Adrian is part of the group that thinks that more books.
Adrian feels superior because he's Jewish and he thinks all the Goyim don't read books.
Right. So what happened?
Hello, I'd like to unite these nuts with those nuts, please. Hello? Is anybody out there? I got some nuts swinging in the air. I just want my nuts to unite with these nuts. Those nuts, these nuts. Let's unite the nuts. I want to unite my nuts with your nuts. These nuts with your nuts. Let's unite our nuts. I want to unite my nuts with your nuts. Hello? Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam.
In my opinion, you motherfucker, you always talk about it. You bring him up the Torah.
I wanna unite these knots with those knots. Let's unite our nuts. Nut to butt, butt to nut. Let's unite the nuts.
So if I, let's say you and I were husband and wife, right? I cheated on you, right? And if I felt bad, I would go grab a goat and say, "Yo, bro, come here. I need you to die for me feeling bad." Like what? Isn't that the same thing they did to Jesus? Isn't that Jesus' story?
Yes.
Thank you. It's the same. It hasn't changed.
But this is what Christians learn in church, like what the whole thing was. Like,
It hasn't changed. It's still a sacrifice. They still doing it. So you mean to tell me? All right, this is. And I'm here to ask the question. So you mean to tell me? So Jesus is driving. You get in the car with you. Y'all driving down the street. The police pull you over. You gonna let Jesus get in trouble for your cocaine?
But something always got in the way.
Chickens drop it, 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 chickens drop it. They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines. But something always got in the way.
Chickens drop it, 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 chickens drop it. They want me to fight the chicken?
I child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Check-ins, drop-in, 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 check-ins, drop-in.
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Check-ins, drop-in, 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 check-ins, drop-in.
Jesus.
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Check-ins, drop-in, 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 check-ins, drop-in.
to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Chicken drop it, 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 chicken drop it. With the teeth. With the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Chicken drop it, 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 chicken drop it. With the teeth. With the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. Drop it, drop it, drop it,
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Chicken drop it, 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 chicken drop it. With the teeth. With the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. With the teeth, with the teeth, I am Steve. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it.
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines. But something always got in the way.
Chicken drop it, 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 chicken drop
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines. But something always got in the way.
chicken drop it, 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 chicken drop
Let's see what this is. Wait, dude, you self-elected. You feel better. You'll be evidence that every soul that you fall will see you shine. And know that you're not. Just weave a symbol, an explosion of error. It shows us the limits of your power. Don't worry, I don't need anything from you for this. This is not your
They want me to fight the chicken?
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines. But something always got in the way.
chicken drop it, 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 chicken drop
movie of all time for Alien. Because in that movie, the aliens are the refugees. They're the oppressed.
Yeah, that's stupid as fuck, those aliens.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes, I did.
You're the only person who said it was bad, but that's interesting.
No, the movie is good. The aliens are stupid in District 9.
Well, the thing about that, you are right, but the thing about the aliens are, again, they're not humans. They're actually insectoids. So they have a hive mind. So they speculate in the story that like they had a queen or a king that died, and just like beehives, it collapses. You know, so like I that's what I mean by aliens. Something's.
But you don't think that different communities have the same hive mind mentality?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every group in humanity, right? You got humans, but then you have I'm Irish. You have ethnicities. You have ethnicity. You have religions. Like these are all different.
Yeah, but we overall have the basic connections. Like for instance, like homegirls across the pond right now, and we still connect as human beings because we're still humans. We still have the basic things of wanting to talk to other people. We might encounter an alien that's completely solitary and doesn't give a fuck about talking to other species.
Yeah,
it's like what's that, like tigers? They kill each other besides mating seasons. Like, there could be aliens like that.
I want to be a tiger. Can I be a tiger? Because I just start
in America you can, sweetheart.
Okay, yeah, my range rover goes back in again. My daughter's putting packing tape on the back of my fucking car.
What?
And she got hit. And she's like, I'm just putting tape on it. I said, let me call the insurance company real quick, baby girl. And I'm watching her via Facebook Live stuff, and she's putting fucking packing tape on my goddamn car. I said, take the bumper off, okay? I can see it right now. Just take it off. Throw it in the trunk. It'll be fine. I'll take care of it tomorrow. I swear to God. No, don't have children. They say they're fun.
Your daughter put packing tape on it?
Yes.
Oh, because she's probably like, she doesn't know what else to do. She's trying to hold it up.
She's like, I can't drive with this. I don't want to lose the bumper.
She'd rather drive with a bumper taped up with a car without a bumper. You know, she's got to look fresh, Mom.
I can't no more. I'm like, can you get one of the adults at your friend's house to come out and help you? Because this is not going to work. And she's like, I'm done with you. Like, move on then. You know what?
It's like, I got into it with my ex-wife's parents because I felt like when I got, it was just some point in our relationship, I was just like, your mom, I think your mom is the queen behind all body shit. Like, I really do believe this. And then I remember calling her father, and I'm talking to him like, yeah, Bill, so, and he's like, yeah, hold on for a second. I said, Bill, do you have me on fucking speakerphone? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, Bill, do you have me on speakerphone? I do not want to be around Barbara as you're talking. And then I hear her in the background going, fuck you, Frank, you'll never see your fucking daughter again, you piece of shit. I knew the bitch was she was a fucking ringleader.
Can I tell you something weird, dude?
Yeah.
I kind of like want to be with a woman because she needs to fuck out before we have sex. Just like,
yeah, shit is dope.
You probably walk into the store.
That shit is dope.
Yeah, I do that to my girlfriend and she was like,
I mean, I think that, just being open and using profanity, I think it should be more of that than opposed to, humans running away from certain. This is the reason why humans are still enslaved by words. Like, when I ask Adrian to say, he will be like, yeah, oh man, I'm not gonna say nothing to you in words. It's like, just say the word, man. What the fuck are you doing? But it's intentionally, some people intentionally do that so that they can have power over the word. color. It's like reverse psychology. It's just stupid as shit. But you gotta be into it. You gotta be into it. That's why white folks say nigga all the time, but act like when they get around black folks, they act like they can't say it.
Oh yeah, there was a white kid like last month who didn't know I was black when he first hopped in the car. Like, so a guy I'm working with was giving me a ride home.
Mm-hmm.
His cousin hops in the back, and before he sees me, he's like, "Man, I was about to dick that nigga in the face." Now he said Ned, you said GA the whole.
Yeah.
We were trying to be cool, but like when he saw me in the front, like, oh shit, he's black.
But
okay,
Dave, what do you think that's all about? Why do you think that white people pause and don't say it, but then when they get around each other, they'll say it all day long?
Because they won't be called racist.
That's what I'm saying. How the fuck? Oh, okay, so you're saying that they are scared, but if they're not racist...
Well, honestly, I think some of them are even careful saying around certain white people, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. Why does this word have so much power?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what it is. Black people have weaponized it to fuck with white people. That's all it is. I don't think they're really offended. I think they pretend...
For real, I don't really take this conversation too seriously in here, but like how about you have an African American man speak about it before a foreigner who's not even black talks about it?
No, because I'm allowed to give my theory on it. I'm allowed to. No, I'm not American. Listen, I don't give a fuck if someone thinks I'm racist. I'm not American, okay? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm not racist, but if you do, no, I'm not racist, but if you think I am, I don't give a fuck. Because I'm not in America. Listen, I'm not in America. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuckity fuck. If you think I'm racist, fuck yourself. Fuck your mom, fuck your dad, fuck your son you never had, fuck your mom, fuck your mom, fuck your mom, fuck your... Okay. Purple, can you mute him and stuff so I can talk, please? Fuck up.
No, because I'm African American, I'm going to talk about my reasons.
I don't give a fuck what you are.
Yeah, I don't care if you don't. I'm not going to let foreigners talk about the black experience in America before I do.
You sound like a geeky little white man. Why do you sound like that if you're an African American?
So all white people are supposed to sound like you?
Did I say that? No, I didn't. I said you sound like a geeky little white man. You don't sound like me, bitch. You sound like a man. You sound like a geeky white man. I don't sound like a geeky white man.
Did you miss the point? My thing is, I said to you, so all white people are supposed to sound the same.
I never said that, though, did I? So, why are you chatting shit? I never said that.
Oh my god.
Fuck you. You're retarded. You're retarded. You're retarded. You're retarded. You're retarded. You're retarded. You're fucking retarded. You need to shut your big old boogery bootleg.
Hold on, Drake. Let's see what he has to say. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, go on. He's crying like a fucking baby, so let's just let him say what he's got to say.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so, like, my perspective of it all is because, like, through slavery and through Jim Crow law, that's literally 2 years of persecution. Black men were castrated. Black women were used as breeding cattle, you know? And also, it's not just in America. Colonialism, the scramble of Africa that happened in the middle of the 18th century, was destruction of the black identity. Like, specifically in America, like, it was used to demasculate black men. That's why they call us boys still sometimes. It's very psychological, man. Like, white people, now I do say other races do have comparable names to them. Like, I would never call Native American slurs or anything like that, or Asian people. But white people, at least in America, they have no comparable word even to that, to the level of that. Like, there's nothing in American history, not even in the last 300 years in the world, where you could see mass groups of black people having picnics and celebrating the castration, the lynching of black people, the selling of white children.
So you're saying that this word has it's almost got
it has generational trauma to it.
Okay, so you say it's got a ghost. This word.
Yeah. Like, dude, my grandmother was born and raised in the Jim Crow era. The majority of her life was in the Jim Crow era. Like, and my grandmother's a Creole mulatto. She's technically black, but she's light skinned. She's lighter than
So she got some white in her.
Yeah. She's still considered a black woman. And when she was married to my grandfather in the military, they were about to arrest them because she was going into labor and he was trying to get her on the military base at the hospital, and they were about to arrest them for having a legal interracial relationship at the time because they thought she was a white woman.
Yeah,
So, like,
I've heard about that type of shit.
This stuff is not. My mom was born in 1964.
I know. But here's the thing, Dave.
It's real, man.
I get it. But Dave, I mean, if you look at it, I understand that you say it's real. But one thing that I say is that the word cannot be greater than the creator. And humanity has to, black, white, all of these are just words, man.
We can't control how other people feel, though.
Yeah, but yes,
okay, right. I understand they have a bad feeling about the word, obviously, for obvious reasons. But there is no excuse, right? The amount of violence people get for using the word, it's not excusable. You cannot excuse killing someone for saying a word.
Yeah,
it's not okay.
It's like Dave, you're giving somebody an excuse to project that they can't manage.
Yeah.
Murdering somebody.
No, but what I'm saying.
No, I never said you did, but other people would. Okay, other black people would.
It's not that. You're justifying. Or what I'm saying is, man, own your thoughts, actions, and emotions, and let people say what they want to say. And
yeah, but I don't have to associate with you.
No, that's not the majority of how black people would deal with it, though. Like, okay, if you were on stage and you said the N-word, people would literally try and get you fired. They'd target your children and try and come to your house and throw shit at you. Like, it's a word.
I'm right in a democracy, right? A protest. I can do all that stuff. I can protest you every single day.
Right, okay. But any person of a decent IQ, right, you've said that, we've processed it, right, that anyone with an IQ above 78 wouldn't get so angry over fucking words. They wouldn't. They really wouldn't. They would get angry about